Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to this special webinar which David and I have put together for you, where we want to tell you about the new funded Forex program. This is something we've been wanting to offer since we launched the Complete Forex program, the Complete Forex Trading program, which is now over 2 years ago. That program has been a fantastic success, and we are both delighted and humbled by the feedback that we've had from our students and traders. And, they tell us about their successes, but not just that, they also tell us how invaluable the program has been to their overall understanding of just how, the financial markets actually work. And as you know, there are elements of that program which can be transferred to other markets and other instruments. But we've always believed, we've always thought that there was something missing, that there was an element missing from what we have put out. Because what we've been trying to look for is a way to give our students and traders really the opportunity to manage and trade a large account size, but in a risk-free way. So in a sense, what we've done here in adding the Forex program is sort of to complete the circle, which started when we launched the education program back in August 2018. And what David and I believe, what we believe this funded program does is, and not only does it offer lots and lots of different benefits, but it also gives you, our students, other opportunities. It opens the doors to other opportunities. For example, you can just use the program as a way of gaining experience and just having a feel for what it's like to trade, larger sums of money in a very disciplined environment. So it kind of helps you to develop those all important disciplines and skills and mindset that you need when you are trading. And while you do that and trading these accounts, what you're also doing is you're also building a track record, a solid track record, because you're using real money. And that track record it's like gold, it's worth its weight in gold, because with that track record, it can then open other doors, other avenues. You can use it perhaps as a stepping stone to a career in the wider financial world. It's something you have as proof that you can show someone and say, look, I had this account, I traded this amount of money, I was successful, this is my track record. Nobody can take that away from you. And to be honest, you could even, use it. Perhaps you would even thinking of starting your own fund. There's nothing to stop you. At the end of the day, fund managers, hedge fund managers, when they have to attract capital, they have to show prospective clients. They say, well, show us your track record. And if you've got this track record, that's, if that's what you think you want to do. So this is the reason. There's lots of reasons why we put this program together, but I suppose, putting it all together, what we wanted is just to give ordinary independent traders, retail traders, this opportunity to know what it's like, to experience what it's like to trade a large account, but with no risk. That's really the key to it. It's the no risk to you. Now, we're going to go through the program in a little bit more detail, obviously, and I know some of you will have some questions. So if you do, just put them into the chat box, and if you don't mind, we'll answer them all at the end. Now, if you can't stay to the end because you've got other commitments, don't worry. We are recording this, and we will send everyone a copy of the recording, and it'll also be uploaded onto our usual YouTube channels. And if you obviously, if you think you've got a question comes to you after the webinar, don't worry, David's got an email address that you can send the question to, and we know that it's about the funded program. So let's just crack on, and I've got my little bit of contribution, and then we will pass over. I'll pass over to David, and he will give you really the nitty-gritty of what this program is all about. So just to recap, why did we develop the program? Well, as I said, it was to give our students, our Forex education students, it's like an upgrade path and a way for you to profit from the knowledge and skills that you have gained from the program. And the opportunity, as I said, to trade large size accounts using conservative risk and money management, and as I said, but with no risk. What it will do for you, what the program will do for you, as I said, it will give you access to these funded accounts, which start at $5,000, and they really go up to 2 million. So it's a progression. You start at one of the evaluation accounts, which start at 5,000, and you can trade your way all the way up to 2 million. As I said, opportunity to profit from your knowledge. This is also an opportunity to build your confidence trading these larger sums of money, but in a very, very conservative way. As I said, it will then give you a track record. What you do with that track record, pretty much, you can do with it what you wish. You may want to think, well, okay, prop trading firms with the solid track record, prop trading firms will bite your arm off. They'll say yes, because you can show that you are successful. More importantly, in using very conservative risk and money management, because that is the key. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for people who are wildly successful 1 month and then completely lose everything the month after. There's those of you on the program will know one of the books we recommend on the program is the Hour Between Dog and Wolf, Professor Coates's book, and that's the story of what happened leading up to the great financial crash in 2008. And those back in the day, the successful, in inverted commas, traders were those who, on paper, they had, would have these wild swings. They would have huge successes, possibly followed by huge losses. And it was somehow a kind of macho thing to be seen to, yeah, you could take the losses, but, at the end of the day, you came through with the big wing, as it were. Those days have gone. People look for consistency. They look for consistency within a conservative framework. And as I said, and if you have that kind of track record, it proves you can be consistent over an extended period of time. And as I've said already, this is all at no risk to you because you're trading our money. It's not yours. It's not on demo account. There are no demo accounts. You start with real money from the get-go, which is why it's important you have a good knowledge base, you have a methodology that works, you have fantastic indicators, you start ready to go straight into a real money environment. And as I said, I will keep repeating this, you are not risking your own trading capital because we're using our money. And of course, we return a percentage of the profits to you. On the program, there's actually no rush to move from the evaluation stage 1, level 1, and work your way through up to the 2 million. In fact, you've got up to 12 months on the first level, which we call the evaluation level. So you have a whole 12 months to make it through to the end. David will have more information on the different accounts and what's involved with the accounts, and also the drawdown, etc. All the nitty-gritty information that you need about that. You can actually trade your own style, and we always say with VPA, with volume price analysis, is it's a methodology that it's your foundation, and then on top of that, you can add you could put your own spin on it. You can bring to it whatever it is that you feel comfortable with and makes you successful. And with this program, you could even, if you develop an EA, if you want to use an EA, that's entirely up to you, as long as you stick within the parameters of the risk and money management rules. They are non-negotiable. You have to stay within those rules, otherwise you're going to be out of the game. It's as simple as that. And even hedging is allowed, as it were. So as I said, you have a lot of freedom in the approach that you use. Freedom you don't have is to move the goalposts when it comes to, as I said, the risk and money management. And the beauty about this program is that it's actually open to anyone, wherever you are in the world. As you know, there are some jurisdictions where, particularly in the States, you can't have access to a choice of brokers, for example, that we have here in the UK and in Europe. But this is different. You're not being asked to open an account with a broker, so that kind of bypasses that. So wherever you're based in the world, if you're in Canada, if you're in the US, you can join the program. There is no restriction to wherever you are based. And we don't cap your progress, so you can start as I say, when you start at the evaluation stage, and you can work your way through up to the $2 million account. Each stage is very clearly defined. It has a very simple and clear profit target, so you always know exactly where you are. And as I said, David's going to go through this in much more detail. And as I said, the risk of money management rules, they are based on conservative prop trading, and they will teach you how to trade these large accounts safely. The risk of management are non-negotiable. The actual trading approach, the actual trading style, using VPA, using your indicators, maybe you maybe use a Fibonacci, whatever it is that you use, that you've put together to make your own trading approach, your own trading tactics, that's fine. But the risk of money management, as I said, that is it. It is very, but it's been designed in this way to help you develop that discipline that will make you consistent. With consistency comes confidence, and the two, it's like a feedback loop. The more confident you are, the more consistent you are, the more confident you are. But because the risk and money management rules are conservative, and you are developing this discipline, you're building your track record. And as I said, that track record you can then use, you can take, and you can use it in whichever way you want. So as I said earlier, that's sort of broad outline of what this program is, why we've developed it, what we think it will do for you. But I think you now need to know a little bit more detail on the actual, the program itself, the nitty-gritty of the program. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to pass over to David. And don't forget, if you've got any questions, type them into the chat box, and we'll answer them at the end. But if you don't want to be distracted by typing a question, just quickly write it down, and you can either email it or ask us at the end.
We switched over onto the slide, so it's exactly the same. This is the next slide in the presentation. So what I want to go through, as Anna said, is really the nitty-gritty of the program. And hopefully in this section, we've tried to answer as many as the queries. We've already had quite a few questions, as you can appreciate. So we've tried to incorporate those into this presentation as well. So hopefully we will have answered your own question, but as Anna said, if not, just drop it in the chat box and we'll catch up with those at the end. The program itself is it's designed in these levels, and they are very clearly defined, the levels. It's based on account sizes. As Anna said, you work your way up through the levels. You start at the smallest, which is 5,000, and then all the way up to the top of the tree at 2 million. At each level, there's a profit target to be achieved, and for those of you who are currently QTE students, you'll find all that defined for you, but I'll work through some examples so you can see how it works. But basically, there's a very simple profit objective set at each level. As soon as you've achieved that particular profit target, then you are entitled to move on to the next level. That's, in very simple terms, how it works. And of course, you receive a percentage of the profits back as you trade up the tree. You start at what we call the evaluation stage, and it is an evaluation stage because you are evaluating us and you're also evaluating yourself in these accounts, because as Anna said, what we bang on about it a lot in the webinars we've run over the years and also in the program itself. What you're looking for is consistency. Because if you can be consistent with this sort of size of account, a 5, 10, or 15, then really the world is your oyster, because you have proved to yourself over quite a decent period of time and quite a decent number of trades that you can be consistent. So you have a methodology that works. You have you are trading within the risk and money management rules, and you are profitable over an extended period. You know, it would be no good to us or to yourself to see someone who does 2 trades, huge profit, and then 3 trades, you know, massive loss. It's got to be that consistency that we're looking for, and that's the whole crux really of trading, is to find that methodology that works for you, so you can be consistent over an extended period of time. Because once you've done it with a micro lot, you can do it with a mini lot. You can do it with multiple mini lots. And when you've done mini lots, you move on to full lots. And the only difference is you are trading larger amounts of money all the time. Other than that, the principles are exactly the same. So you start with, we offer these 3 levels. There's the 5,000, the 10,000, and the 15,000 level. Those are our evaluation stages, and that is real money. We give you 12 months on that level for lots of different reasons. It is the only level which has a time element. None of the other levels do. So the evaluation stage is the only level that has this time aspect to it. So we give you 12 months. There are lots of different reasons for that, but primarily because some students will want to trade longer term time frames, which is absolutely fine. Overnight is absolutely fine. Longer term, no problem at all. And of course, we also appreciate that some traders, some students will not have access to terminals all the time. We are very privileged, we do. You may not. It may be slightly more limited for you. So that's why we set this 12-month period. But I stress to you, it's the only level which has the time element. No other levels do. The profit target on this level is 6%, and that is paid once the target is achieved. And we remit that back at 35%. So let's just have a look at that. So if you look at these 3 levels, and the choice of level is yours. We don't suggest a level that you start. You choose a level. It's up to you. All I would say from a personal perspective is that if you are relatively new, then start with the 5,000 level. If you have been trading for a while and you have more experience in Forex, then by all means look at the 10 or 15 level. And that's the only recommendation we give. So the choice is yours. But if you look at that in terms of the profit target, on the 5,000 level, as I say, it's 6%, so it's $300. On the 10,000 level, it's $600. And on the 15,000 level, it is $900. As I say, you choose which level you start, but choose your level with care, as you can't change. You cannot, if you start at a higher level, you can't go to a lower level, and if you start at a lower level, you can't go to a higher level. So choose that with care, give it some thought. And really the only thing that you need to consider about it is that it will take you a little longer to get to the 2 million from the 5K than it would to the 15K, because there are one or two more levels that you would have to negotiate along the way. But do consider it with care. During the evaluation, as I say, you're proving to yourself you have the consistency, but you're also proving it to us. And the reason we've introduced it is because from the simple aspect that, you know, we are going to give you more money, a lot more money to trade. And there are really only a couple of rules that you need to follow. This is at the evaluation stage. As I say, you've got 12 months. What we're looking for is a minimum of 45 trades to show consistency. And clearly there is a time limit that's got to be achieved over a minimum time of, we've laid that down as 30 days. So those are the parameters, if you will, in terms of the basics of the evaluation. You can choose which level you start at, 5, 10, or 15. You get 35% of that back as a profit, as a lump sum, as soon as you've achieved that particular target. It has to be over a minimum of 30 days and 45 trades within that particular stage. Once you've achieved that particular profit target, you then move to what we call the portfolio manager level. And this really extends right the way through to the 2 million area, or 2 million level. So what actually changes once you've come out of your evaluation period? First of all, we increase your trading capital by 4. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I think I flicked through about 24 slides at once. Apologies. Where were we? There we are. Must have touched the keyboard. There we are. First of all, we increase your trading capital by 4. So if you started at 5,000, we will then release a new account to you which will have 20,000 in it. If you started at 10,000, you'll get the next account has 40,000, and if you started at 15, your second account will have 60,000 capital in it. So you can see how rapidly the funding starts to escalate once you come out of your evaluation program. And that's why the number of levels to get to the 2 million is lower if you start at a higher level on the evaluation stage rather than if you start at the lower level. But other than that, the process is exactly the same. The second thing that changes is we increase the profit target to 10%. 6% profit target only applies to the evaluation stage. 10% applies throughout the rest of the program. And the other thing that then changes is we then, not only do we increase the profit percentage return to you to 40% from the 35%, so that goes up to 40%. And that is now paid monthly. So rather it coming back in a lump sum, we pay that, we remit that back to you at the end of every month within 7 days. We get to the month end, we do the calculations, and we then remit that back to you at the rate of 40%. And that's just purely based on your ending balance each month. And these rules apply, those particular calculations, the 10% profit target and the 40% remittance of profit applies throughout. Now, that's exactly the same. It applies to all the other levels. So if you take a $15,000 account, that then becomes $60,000. The profit target becomes $6,000 for that particular level, in other words, 10%. And the profit return to you is $2,400, in other words, 40% of the $6,000. And as I say, that will be remitted back to you on a monthly basis, depending on how much profit you've made in that particular month. Obviously, if you haven't managed to move the balance forward in that particular month, then no profit is paid until you get back to that high level watermark of the previous and you start to move up again in terms of generating further profit. Thereafter, the capital is doubled at every level. So if you go from an evaluation account of 15,000, you come out of that to the first level where it's multiplied by 4 and takes you to 60,000. Once you've achieved that particular level, then we start to double all the time. So basically you would move to an account of 120,000, 240, 480, 960, and so on. And as I said, everything else stays the same. Profit targets remain at 10% throughout, and the 40% profit remittance back to you for all levels. There are no time limits. As I said at the start, the only level that has a time limit on it is the evaluation stage at 12 months. That's it. None of these other levels have a time limit. So once you're out of your evaluation stage, you can take as long as you wish to achieve your target. The only rule that applies is we would look for a minimum of 4 trades a month just to keep the account active. But other than that, it's as simple as that. So this is how it lays out in terms of moving up the ladder, if you will, using we're starting here down at the bottom as a 10,000. So we're in the middle tier, if you will, of an account. So we're starting with a $10,000 evaluation account. The profit target is here, which is 6%. And this is the profit that would be returned to you in a lump sum at the end of that particular stage. In other words, $210, that will come back to you as a single payment. You can then see we multiply that by 4, so we get to 40,000. Profit target then increases to 10%, so it's $4,000 on that level. And of that, you would receive $1,600, which is 40% again, but that's now paid monthly based on your account balance, how it varies at the month end from the month start. We do that calculation and then we remit back to you within the 7 days each month. And thereafter, you're basically doubling. So you're going to 80, to 160, to 320, 640, 1280, and up to the 2 million. And the profit target on each level you can see is 10%, and the profit returned to you is 40% on each of those, and it's all monthly. Just to note, and this is a question we have been asked, is the profit payments are not taken from your balance. They're paid out of our funds, so it doesn't affect your balance where you are in the in your balance account, your trading account, as you move from month to month. So don't worry. This is very important. Over the years, I know 1 or 2 people have very strong views about PayPal, but we are only using PayPal for this program. So I apologize if you are one of those people. As I say, I know we have had 1 or 2 customers over the years who've had a real big issue with PayPal. I understand we all have views of payment gateways and what have you, but we are using PayPal specifically for this project. So please make sure you have a PayPal account. As you can appreciate, all the accounts are in dollars. Quantum Trading Education PayPal account is in dollars. So we are trying to keep the exchange rates, the cost of that to an absolute minimum. So getting your profits back to you as seamlessly as possible using dollars throughout, so they'll be coming out to you in dollars from the QTE PayPal account. So apologies if you're not a great fan of PayPal, but you will need a PayPal account to accept payments. We won't be offering payments in any other way. It's too complicated, and there are too many costs involved. This is another question we've also been asked a great deal. The platform we're using is MT4 for execution. And all we would say is that there are lots of different reasons we've chosen it, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Sorry. There are lots of different reasons. All we would say is this: the MT4 you can use purely for execution. You can have your other platforms, you can have your NinjaTrader, your TradingView running alongside, and purely execute on the MT4. That's what it's for. We are offering, as I think I've covered later on in one of the slides, we are offering a full set of trading indicators for MT4, complimentary as part of the program. So if you want to run them on there, fine. If you just want to run your own account because you are keeping your own trading capital, so you've got it over here somewhere. So if you're running other platforms alongside, that's fine. and really just look at the MT4 as your execution to execute your trades, and to do your analysis on your preferred platform alongside. So, it really is just for execution. It's not really for analysis, although you're more than welcome to use it for analysis. Of course, that's why we're free issuing a full set of indicators for you to load on as well. In terms of the interface, you will not recognize the broker. This is it's been put together. We've put together with it's straight through processing. There's no dealing desk involved. It's a straight through process backed up by liquidity providers. So it's just it will be instant execution. As I say, there's no dealing desk involved. And you can trade any style and time frame, overnight positions, intraday, longer term. It's entirely up to you. You can hold positions over the weekend, absolutely fine, no problem at all. There's no restrictions on how you trade or the style of trade, because at the end of the day, we want you to be successful. There's no point in us saying to you, well, we're only going to allow intraday trading. You've got to be a scalping trader. It's pointless. We want you to be successful. The whole purpose of this is for you to be successful. So why would we restrict you in that way? So we don't. You can trade on the account. You can trade micro lots, mini lots, and full lots. So just put this little description in here just to highlight, when you do, those of you who have access to the PDF in the education program, you'll find a tab inside your quantum dashboard, the education dashboard. There is a tab there. You'll find the PDF download which has all this explained in great detail. But on the various levels, you might find something that says 0.5 lots. What does it mean? Well, it's 5 mini lots or 50 micro lots. So you have that opportunity to trade whatever size, and there is you'll see in the moment, in terms of the risk and money management rules, we do actually limit you. It is one of the key rules. The other trading opportunity, you're trading the 28 currency pairs from the 8 primary currencies. That's it. We're not allowing anything else within the program, so you can't trade commodities, anything else. It is purely the let's call them the major, if you like, the major 28 currency pairs. Okay, let's talk about risk and money management rules. As we said all along, these are conservative. Now, you might view that as negative, and I would urge you to view it as a positive, because the rules that we've put together here are truly the rules that you will find in major organizations trading large sums of money. If they can get away with 1-to-1 leverage, they will. 5-to-1 is the preferred, and that's just the nature of the game. I know we're all used to looking at 50-to-1 and 100-to-1 and even 400-to-1. There's still some brokers out there, I'm sure, offering these absurd leverages. But trust me, that's this is the real world of trading larger sums of money. So please view it in that way. And as I said there, it's designed to help you understand the discipline required to trade large sums. So please don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a positive. It will help you perhaps understand the levels that you need to have in place, the rule sets you need to have in place to actually manage this sort of size of capital, and to trade consistently and to trade successfully. And of course, you are trading our capital. So yes, we want to be trading it safely, but I can assure you these are rules that are in place and are very, very well documented around the major organizations. There are 3 major rules here. I've put them on one slide. I'll go through them in individual detail. Rule 1 is a stop loss on every position. It goes without saying, and that is a simple rule. It's 1.5% of your trading capital. The second rule is the maximum lot size at each level. It's defined in a way that caps your leverage at 5-to-1. And the third rule, which is perhaps the most important, is to understand what we mean by maximum relative drawdown. I'm going to explain it in detail because it is expressed at the start of the level as a percentage, but is actually managed in terms of a US dollar amount. So I'm going to explain that. And there are videos on this. You'll find videos, certainly those of you on the QTE program will find videos on this as well. As I say, rule is you have to have a stop loss in every position, please. There's no debate about it. There will be a stop loss in every position. It's the first rule of trading, and the second rule is don't forget the first rule. So I'm not going to labor the point. The leverage, as I say, we've capped throughout the program at 5-to-1. So it doesn't matter whether you're on $5,000 evaluation account or whether you're trading a $2 million account, your leverage will still be capped. So don't run away with the idea that the more money you have to trade, you can go mad with leverage. In fact, ironically, I go the other way, because the more money you have, you've actually got the opportunity to trade with no leverage. I mean, once you're up on a $2 million account, you could trade with no leverage at all, or even one of the $100,000 or $200,000, $300,000 account. So the leverage is always set at this level of 5-to-1. How do you work out the leverage? Very simple. If you take a 20,000, which is equal to one lot, divide that into 100,000 by 20,000 times 1 equals 5-to-1 leverage. If you take a 10,000 level example, then half a lot, we say on that level, that's at 10,000. So if you divide 100,000 by 10,000, that's 10. Multiply it by half, it's 5. So it's always going to be 5-to-1. Whatever level you're at, your leverage is always going to be 5-to-1. The maximum relative drawdown, which is the same at every level, is calculated as 4% of the starting capital. So it's setting a floor, if you like, and it's always quoted in dollars, not as a percentage. And you can think of it as a trailing stop loss, but one that's in US dollars. So please forget about percentages once you've started, because it is the dollar amount that is so crucial. So let me just explain that in more detail. I've taken an example here, very simple example. So we're starting at the evaluation level of $10,000. You've just opened your account, no trades, nothing, you haven't done anything with it yet. So where is your relative drawdown? What is the floor of relative drawdown at that point? And the floor is set at 4%. In other words, 4% of $10,000 is $400. So your floor is then set at $9,600. So that's your starting point. Now let's say your balance moves up to 10,400. The floor moves to 10,000. Why does it move to 10,000? Because it's still at $400. What happens when your balance falls? Your balance falls to 10,200. The floor does not move. It remains at 10,000. In other words, that retracement of $200 in your balance has resulted in your balance losing $200 of your buffer, if you will. So you've eaten up half of your drawdown. So you've eaten up $200. You've still got $200 left before you hit the floor. And that's how it works. I have done 2 videos, I think, on the site on that, because it is so important that you understand it. Now, if you hit your maximum drawdown, I'm afraid you will be out of the program. That's the case. That's why it's so important that you understand how it works, you monitor it, and you pay close attention to it all the time, and you understand how it works instantly. But if you are out of the program, you're more than welcome to rejoin and try again. But we have to have a rule set in place which governs the capital and looks after the trading amount in there. In terms of the pairs, these are obviously the pairs you can trade. You've got the majors at the top there, and you've got the cross-currency pairs below, and nothing else, I'm afraid. That's it. We're just in Forex here. Now, one of the questions I'm sure that we will be asked is obviously about the costs of execution. This is a little screenshot I took from the accounts yesterday. What you're looking at down here is actually this is 1/10 of a pip down here. So where you see 1s and 2s, this is 2/10 of a pip, 2/10 of a pip, 3/10, 7/10. So it gives you an idea of the spreads. There's no spread at all on dollar Swiss cable here. You can see euro dollar, no spread at all. Some of them more. Pound New Zealand, that is 1.8 pips on there, but that's the highest. That's a pip on Euro New Zealand, but all the others are pretty much well inside a pip, if not 0, as these three at the top. Oops, sorry. Now they will vary. This is trading, let's say, in the UK-US session, where spreads will be pretty much maintained at that in terms of the depth of liquidity. But if we see volatility coming into the market, or major news events, or trading in thin markets, so you may see these vary. But that gives you a flavour of the sort of spreads to expect. So hopefully I've walked you through the program there. Hopefully I've covered all the main points. How do I join the program? The joining is very simple. You have to be a student on the QTE Complete Forex Trading Program. And the reason we've done this is because we want our students, first of all, to, if you like, to make it exclusive to our students to give you an upgrade path. But equally, we want to be comfortable that people coming onto the program have had what we consider to be a really good grounding education in Forex trading. If we open this up to everybody, then we have no control over who is coming onto the program. So we've done it in that way for a reason. We want you to be successful. We believe the education we've developed, and certainly over the last 2 years, the feedback we've had on the program has just been well, it's been humbling, I have to be honest. So that is the reason we've done it this way. So you will have to be a student on the Complete Forex Trading Program. All I would say is, if you are a QTS customer and you've maybe got you've got maybe some of the indicators, maybe 1 or 2, maybe several, we always give you a full credit to upgrade to the full program, to the education program, because that includes the full set of indicators. So in joining the education program, we would give you a full credit for whatever it is you spent. It doesn't matter how long it is. You could have been a customer for 4 or 5 years. We'll have a look in the history. We'll put it together, and we just issue you with a coupon to join the Quantum Education Program, and you will then have the opportunity to join the funded program if you wish. As I say there, we just give you a coupon to join for whatever it is, the credit that you've had in the past, whatever you've spent with us in the past. This is the cost of joining. It's very simple. It's a single one-off payment. There's nothing else to pay. There's no subscription fees, nothing. It's a one-off payment. It is non-refundable, and it varies according to the level. On the 5,000, it's 425. On the 10,000, it's 850, and on the 15,000 evaluation level, it's 1250. We are not trading this money. It doesn't go into your account anywhere. The funds you get back from us are completely isolated from this particular payment. So that's it. So please be aware, this is a non-refundable, it's a one-off payment. As soon as we receive the terms and conditions, as soon as you've made your payment, you will get back an automated email that will give you a detailed PDF to sign, which really covers all the items I've covered here, all the terms and conditions which you need to sign and return. In addition to that, we also request either a copy of your passport or a copy of your ID for proof, which we have to get through the process and get your account set up. But as soon as we've got those documents, you'll get a link back to download your funded account along with the login and password. It's as simple as that. And as soon as you download it, you'll find your $5,000, $10,000 or $15,000 in there, and you're good to go. And in addition to that, obviously, we will help you install your second set of trading indicators for MT4 if you wish to have them on there. Some of the students who are already on the program have decided not to. They're just running with their own accounts, which is absolutely fine. No problem at all. But if you want to have them on there, they are available. So that's it. I think I've run through the complete program there. We'll take some questions. I'll try and answer them. I'm just going to switch off for a moment just to grab a drink, and then I'll come back and we'll see if we can answer most of the questions. One thing I would say, if you do have any questions after this presentation, please pop them over. I know some of you will have a lot of different emails for us, but if you could use the fxtrader@quantumtradingeducation.com, because they will come direct to me and I can answer them directly. If they go to other parts of into the other help desks, then they'll have to be forwarded to me, and it might slow things down a bit. So please use the fxtrader@quantumtradingeducation.com. Just going to switch off for a moment. Haven't gone away. I'll come back and answer the questions with Anna. Right. Okay. Yeah, let me go through the questions. I've got them up. Sorry. I've turned myself on. Yep. Anna's here as well. So Anna's keeping an eye on that as well. Randall, yeah, I kind of covered that one onto MT4. We'd love to do it on other platforms, but for various reasons, we went for MT4. It is the universal platform. It's the universal Forex platform. There's 2 million users worldwide, what have you. It's very easy access for everybody, and so on and so forth. So that's the reason we went for it. But as I said, use the MT4 platform for execution. Use your other platforms that you have for analysis. What makes this one different? I guess the levels, the 2 million, the tight spreads. I'll go back to that in a moment. And the fact that the reason we've included it is that it's to give our students an upgrade path, and that's really what we wanted to do. So it is very much a case of giving our students who've joined the program and have taken the education process, and it's a comprehensive program as well. I mean, some students take several months to get through it all, but they come out at the end of it with a lot of confidence. And it was really putting this in place to give those students the opportunity to really take those skills and leverage them accordingly. If the target is reached, for example, in a few weeks, will the level be considered completely or complete? No, it's Antoine. As soon as you've achieved the target provided on the evaluation, let me be precise, on the evaluation, let's talk about the evaluation stage. Provided you achieve the target and you've done the 45 trades, and that is over a period of longer than 30 days. I mean, let me give you, I'm trying to think of an example. Suppose you did, I don't know, let's suppose you did 30 trades in a day, and then you did another 15 the following day, so you've done 45 trades in 2 days. Well, you may be successful, that may be fine, but the whole thing comes back to this business of consistency over time. We don't want skyrockets and explosions, and it's all wonderful, and the following day it's dreadful, the rain's pouring down and all the fireworks are wet. It's having consistency over time. So we want to have it over the 30-day period. That's the only level at which we have any sort of time period associated. So you've got the 12 months to actually do it in, and it's up to you. But if you can do it in the 30 days or 40 days or 2 months, whatever, that's absolutely fine. Once you've achieved it, once you've achieved once you've met those two metrics of 45 trades and it's over 30 days, then that's the end of it. You've achieved that. You've done your target. we give you the 35% back as a lump sum, and that's it. You get a brand new account with 4 times your capital. That's it. So I hope that one answers that one for you as clearly as I can. Penny, will this be taxable? Oh gosh. I would say you need to talk to your financial advisor about that. Whether it's income or capital gains. I don't. Yeah. You would have to talk to someone about that. Someone with a tax advice. The only way I would answer that, Penny, is this. There's always a lot of talk around spread betting being tax-free in the UK. And let's face it, and this is always my answer, the bottom line is if the HMRC in the UK at any rate view you as trading for a living, then you will be taxed on it. It's as simple as that. So whether it's spread betting or not, if you're doing spread betting full time, then I think it's a misnomer to think that it's not taxable. So I can't answer that with any degree of authority, but that's, all I can say to you is you would need to get some tax advice on that. And I'm not a tax expert, so forgive me. Thanks, Randall, got that one. And David, you're welcome, Penny. No dealing desk. What about spreads? I think I've covered the spreads there. The one thing, spreads and commissions, right? You've seen the tight spreads. In addition to that, which I forgot to mention, apologies, there is a $9 per full lot commission. So basically what you're looking at across the piece, if you will, is roughly a pip spread per pair, if you will, because you've got 0 on some, you've got little bits and pieces on others. So there are 2 elements. There's the spread, which is pretty tight, as you can see, and then you've got a $9 commission per 100,000. So it roughly works out at around a pip per trade, something like that. Kurt, can you give a short rundown of the course, please? I can. There are 5 core modules. I'd say there are 5 core modules. There's the psychology. There's the technical, which is the psychology module is comprehensive, to put it mildly. There are 8 PDF downloads alone with the psychology module. There's then the VPA module, which is a deep dive into volume price analysis. There is a whole module on fundamental analysis. There's another whole module on relational analysis. And finally, there's a module on the mechanics of trading. That's the kind of starting point. There are then 6 or 7 other modules. There's a huge module on recorded webinars where we go through tactics, approaches, all sorts of stuff. There's a big module on volume price analysis examples. There's another module on, goodness, I'm losing track of where the modules are. There's another 3 or 4 modules, the trading basics, how to manage stop losses. There's all sorts of stuff. And it's all backed up with another 5 PDFs. So in total, I think there's something like 250, 260 hours of video. There are 13 PDF downloads. There are 440 odd individual lessons in the program. And in addition to that, of course, it's also backed up with a full set of trading indicators. So not only do you get the education, you get all the indicators as well. And just to give you a feel for the pricing, if you take the MT4 version at $13.91 and you break it out, the full package of indicators for that, which is on the quantum trading software site, is $894, and the education element is just $497 of that. So it's just a whole bundled deal, and it is comprehensive to say the least. We've been running it for well over 2 years now, getting on for 2.5 years. We have hundreds of students on the program. We have some very successful students on the program. And all I can suggest is hop over onto the Quantum Trading Education site, have a look there. And in addition, there's also an introduction to the funded program as well. So I hope that answers that one for you. Kyle, if we're already using MT4 there and broker, do we simply log off and log off? The account you will get is entirely independent of whatever it is you're doing yourself. So you can be running 2 accounts. This account will be entirely separate, and you just log in, as you said there, with your QTE credentials. That's it. We send you, once you've signed the T's and C's and we've got them back and we've got your ID, we send you over a link, a download link, with your account number, with your password, and you log into it, and that's it. And you'll find the funds in there straight away. Thanks, Randall. Are we allowed to subscribe to other trading software services in addition? Absolutely, Daniel. No problem at all. No problem with that and whatsoever. Where do we get the terms and conditions? Keith, you're on the QTE program, so if you log into your quantum trading education dashboard, you will find a tab in there which is for the funded program. If you hop onto that tab, you'll find all these, the whole of this detail, not only in the page, but you'll also find the PDF to download there and the links as well, the payment links as well. So it's all in there. You can download the PDF, read it at your leisure, make sure you're comfortable with it before you actually go ahead and join the program. So it is there for you to download. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Antoine. Will we, Ezzy, will we have to pay PayPal a percentage when we receive payment? There are transfer costs, I'm afraid, Ezzy, but you know, I do appreciate PayPal are not the cheapest. Put my hands up to that. Got no problem with that. It was just trying to find a universal payment gateway that would apply pretty much globally, and we wouldn't have any issues with. I do accept that their transfer fees are a little bit more expensive. Their exchange rates aren't great. But it was just the simplest way to do this. So I hope you'll bear with us on that. I know, some people are anti-PayPal. Sorry about that. And they're not, but they are rock solid. And it was just a very simple way for us to get dollars out of our accounts and to yours. And obviously, we're also dealing with dollars in terms of the trading accounts. It just makes everything so much easier. We haven't got to do calculations, exchange rates, and all the rest of it to get you your profits back. It just comes out in a dollar lump sum. We all know where we stand. It's very simple, and all you have to deal with is the exchange rate. If you're in the US and you've got a PayPal dollar account, it obviously costs you next to nothing. You just have the PayPal fee. That's it. Will this broker be part? No, they won't. I'm afraid, Keith. This is not a regular a mainstream broker. They won't be part of that. Chris, what are your expectations of success, the evaluation stage, pass rate, so to speak? Well, Chris, I wish I could answer that one. It would be lovely. It would be lovely to think that every customer that comes on, every student that comes on the program is successful. That's what we would love to see above everything else. That would just give us so much pleasure, because it would mean that you as a trader have found a way to use the knowledge that we've given to you in the education that you've absorbed, and you're now putting into practice, and it means that you're on your way. And that, I can tell you, will just give us so much pleasure. Every trader is different. I don't know how traders are going to get on, but if I come back to what I said in the presentation, that we've put together these risk and money management rules, which I fully accept are conservative. You may consider them to be over conservative, but they are conservative for a reason, because they will give you a very secure blanket, a framework, a secure framework, a very well-defined framework in which to trade. And that alone may actually help to, I'm not saying anyone's indisciplined, but it will actually force us all to think about a disciplined approach, which is very regimented, very risk controlled. And that alone may help you in an ironic way to be successful. I can't describe it in any other way, But I'm sure that, you like us, we all have days where we do something that we regret, and we're not great that day, and we just, I'll do this, do that, and it doesn't work out. Well, here you have to stick to the rules, because if you don't, then I'm afraid that will be the end of it. So it's very prescribed. I think it's a great discipline to have in place. And to be honest, even if you did fail and you hit the floor of the drawdown, I think you will have learned a huge amount as well, just trading within these confines of a conservative risk and money management rule set. Christopher, thank you. If you email, brilliant. Okay, I'll pick up the questions once we're off the webinar. The tax question from earlier. Well, it's up to you, Ezzy. You need to talk to your as I said to Penny, you need to talk to your financial advisor about how this is viewed as tax. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not qualified to give you tax information. All I can say is that, if you're earning income from whatever source, if the tax authorities in your region look at that income as something that is considered to be taxable, in other words, it's not a hobby, it is part of your full-time income, then you will be taxed on it. You will have to discuss that with, you will have to ask your authorities for tax advice, or you'll speak to your financial advisor and see what they say. Can we have payment go to a company account? As long as it's a PayPal account, that's fine. Don't mind if it's in your own name, or if it's in a company name, absolutely fine. No problem at all. So if you wanted to set up a PayPal account in a company name, absolutely fine with us. Obviously, as long as you let us know where you want the payments to go to, because generally speaking, they will be picked up from your personal email you sign up on the program with, and the funds will then go to that particular PayPal account. But if you want them to go somewhere else, you've got to let us know. But yeah, absolutely no problem if you've got a company account. I mean, Quantum Trading Education Limited is a company account, so absolutely no problem at all with that one. Chris, thank you, Chris. Yeah, the rules we put a lot of thought into this, and those rules we feel really it's a kind of safety blanket. It's a very disciplined pool that we're trading in here, and I think in a way it will bring a lot of traders who come into it. It will actually give them comfort that they're trading in a secure environment where there are no restrictions. They can't suddenly say, "Oh, I'm going to trade 50 to 1 or 100 to 1." They can't. It's as simple as that. So I think in a way it's very good. It's very good discipline to have that rule set in place, and I think it will be as a positive much more than perhaps one or two people might view it as a negative. Vahid, what are the prerequisites for taking the program in terms of knowledge? Is it necessary to read Anna's books before take? All I would say to you, Vahid, is this: we have a lot of students who've come from Anna's books. They've come onto the program. Her books will give you a great foundation, and then the program really takes you on to the next level. So, by all means, invest in the books, learn as much as you can there. That will give you a great grounding. And then if you wish to join the program, be delighted to see you join the program, and it will take you to the next level. And this, I suppose, is the end result, if you like, the funding program at the end of the learning process, if you will. Any more questions? I think I've more or less covered them there. That's it. I think we're there. If we manage to grow at no, the 2 million account is the top level. So let me just read that question again. If we manage to grow 2 million, to maximum drawdown would be once you get to the 2 million account. To be honest, once you get to the 2 million account, I think at that stage you'd probably be running your own fund at that point. So I think at that point you would probably be saying to Anna and myself, it's been awfully interesting. I've absolutely loved it. But you know what? I am now going off to trade someone else's money. I'm going to put my own fund together, whatever it may be. So I think at that level, you know, we would probably part company with great pleasure, and you know, a very warm handshake, and you would be absolutely top of the tree, gold star student, and you know, wonderful. So no, I mean the percentage, as I said in the presentation, the percentage levels apply right the way throughout. Once you're on the top level, that's it. There's nowhere else to go from 2 million. You know, we we haven't got limitless you know, funds here, but there we go. So hope that answers that one for you as well. Listen, we really appreciate you. Did you want to, can I pass back to you to wrap up? I'm just going to pass back to Anna to thank you, but from me personally, thank you so much for coming along today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to pass back to Anna so that she can say her part as well. It's very exciting for us. Please think carefully about it before you join. But you know, give it some thought, have a think about it, and we would love to see you on the program and joining us in the funded program as well. So thanks very much indeed for me. I'm going to pass back to Anna, and bye for now.
Hi, it's me again. Thank you. As I said, all I want to say is thank you for taking the time to come and join us today. It has been recorded, and we will get the recordings out to everyone who has signed up. As I said, it's we're really, really excited about it. I mean, gosh, when we first started, if we'd had an opportunity like this, I thought, oh my goodness, you know, it's just something. It's if you like a bridge between, if you like, being a totally independent trader, which, you know, a lot of people are perfectly happy to be. They just, you know, they're in their own world. They have their own money, and they want to take that forward. And we see it as a bridge into, if you like, the other side. And I'm not going to use the word pro trading, because you are all professionals. We are all professionals. We take what we do very seriously. And as far as I'm concerned, when you take something seriously, you are being professional. So I don't buy this distinction between professional, retail, and independent in terms of approach to this business. But what it does, it gives you a bridge, if you like, into perhaps more the institutional. We use the word institutional side, David. It's really the institutional side where, you know, it's a totally different world, and entry into that world is pretty tough. We have a student, one of our very, very early students, even before we put the program, the QTE program together. He was a Cambridge graduate. He started off with my books. He contacted me, etc., and that's how he started. He started by, you know, he used his own money, lived off practically nothing for a year, but he had this track record. This is what anybody on the institutional side is looking for. It's a track record, and he's been presenting that track record. I think the last time I heard, he was actually running his own fund. So as I said, it's to give you the experience of trading these large amounts with no risk to you. See what it's like, but within a very, very disciplined environment, very conservative rules. And it also, it allows you, as David said, to leverage your knowledge. It will push you out of your comfort zone. You know, these large sums of money sometimes can be very scary. But at the end of the day, when you come out of it, the experience, we think, will be invaluable. And what you do with that experience, what you do with your, as I said, with your track record, that is, again, it's up to you. So that's why we've done it. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. If you've got any other questions you want to ask, David have you got the email up again, David, at all? It's up there. That's it. If you drop us an email on that email, it's only because we know it's to do with the webinar. It just makes it easier to pick it up from all the other emails that we receive. So if you think of anything else, just, as I said, just drop us an email and we'll happily answer any questions that you may have on this program. And if you are thinking about the QTE program, which is the gateway to it, again, happy to answer any questions on that as well. So thank you once again, as I said, for taking the time to come and join us on the webinar. We've been going for over an hour. So as I said, it's really a long time to sit through a presentation like this. So again, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day. If you're trading, happy trading. Markets are a little bit, what are they? A little bit sort of quiet at the moment. Where are we? Always like to test. Oh yes, well they're up a bit, down a bit. So, but don't worry, you know that's not going to stay. They're not going to stay like that for very long. So, happy trading. Stay safe. And those of you who come along to our regular Forex Tuesday webinars, we will see you there the next time. Take care.